Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk live from Los Angeles here on this Tuesday night. We are live coast to coast, border to border with a hell of a show tonight because we have a huge story again. I'm so tired, honestly, of talking about The Flash, but it's the story that keeps on giving. It continues to fall further and further. And this is not even a bad film. I am so tired of people telling me this film's terrible. The Flash is trash. It's because it's not. Beau is Afraid, refuse. The Flash, solid. Okay? Here's the number 64 million for 4 days. Oh my God. It is so bad. Guys, this is one of the biggest bombs ever. Legit, considering the budget at 200 million plus. When you look at all of the elements here for this film, I mean, obviously Ezra Miller was an issue. We know that. Okay. But we had Michael Keaton returning. Why did that not work? Where's everybody? What happened? I will never be able to explain exactly how this film became arguably, right now, certainly under the heat, the biggest bomb in the history of movies. I mean, at the end of the day, it probably won't be that. But right now, it sure as hell feels like it. 64.2 million for 4 days. Oh my God, you guys. Let's get into the comments quickly. I'm going to touch on this stuff and then roll. We're going to go boom, boom, boom. We have so much to talk about here tonight. Let's discuss the show. Let's break it down quickly. I've got The Flash. We've got Batgirl. What was up with all that stuff that came out yesterday? All the pictures and all, the timing of that, very suspicious. Also, I want to discuss Michael Shannon detonating Star Wars. What was that all about? That man speaks his mind, which makes him a big MMT fave. Also, I want to discuss Barbie. A lot of people saying this thing's going to be a huge hit. Barbie's a lock. I'm like, no, the hell it is. It is absolutely not a lock, and I'll tell you why in a few minutes. But let's continue along the Flash line because this is a real question mark what happened here. And this is Ashley. Welcome to the channel, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. This comment. Just saw The Flash. Really liked it. Had problems, but it was fun overall. I noticed in the theater, nobody was laughing at the jokes. I don't know what's wrong with people because Ezra Miller, and I saw it for the third time yesterday. Ezra Miller, we can debate the off-field choking, grooming as much as you want. But at the end of the day, when he's in the movie and we're separating the art from the artist and his work here, he's funny. He's really good in comedy. And I don't know what's going on, Ashley. I have no idea. And it does. I do too. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because this number is so atrocious. What happened? We went over the reasons. Go watch the stream, watch the video. I have multiple things. We've talked about The Flash so much over the past 5 days. I don't think I can do it anymore. But it is very curious what the hell happened to this film. Now, let's just keep rolling and go right into this, which is why all of a sudden did we get that Batgirl stuff yesterday. I was sitting there looking at it going, what's going on? Why all of a sudden are we getting these Batgirl set pics and all of this sudden surge of information about Batgirl? Let me tell you my theory. My theory for why we got all of this behind the scenes, you've got Michael Keaton there, you've got all these pictures, there's the set, the directors are like pictures with Michael Keaton. All of this came out yesterday. Let me tell you, there's two things at play here. Number one, Warner Brothers actually allowed this leak. And let me tell you why they would do that. Because of what happened to The Flash. They just want to get the attention off of this film because it is now a nuclear bomb of a film. So you would say, hey, let's start talking about Batgirl. But then you think about that and you're like, well, wait a second. Why would you release that if you have Keaton in it? And now people are saying maybe you should have released Batgirl. The other reason would be, hey, The Flash just bombed. So let's knock out Warner Brothers even more by putting Batgirl stuff out and muddy the water and make it even worse for Warner Brothers. There was an agenda for why this stuff leaked. I want your theories on that. Also tonight, I want to mention as we continue along, we're going to go boom, 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 boom. I want to make sure that you are aware that the channel's exploding and we have to do the super chats. If you come out with the super chat, you get in, guaranteed. I will stay on for as long as we have super chats. I will obviously use things like Ashley, we just did the non-super chat comment. But when there's so many, it gets harder, okay? And tonight, I'm Sans producer. So I'm going to need to hire a legit producer from you guys because I need somebody to help me run the show. It makes it easier when I can just roll and not worry about all of whatever the heck I'm going to have to talk about next. I just roll and I don't have to worry about it. Bring in the comments. Okay. We're going to get to Michael Shannon in a minute, but I do want to talk about Barbie because a lot of you already in the comments discussing Barbie. Barbie has these, what is the exact title? It's the Barbie Fangirl Blowout. Hold on, here it is. It's the Barbie Blowout Party early access screenings. Warner Brothers is screening Barbie at 7 o'clock the night before it opens that Thursday for previews. Okay, on a Wednesday night, they're going to open at 7 o'clock, and these things are sold out. Okay, let me just roll around LA real quick, and you can do your own around wherever you are, but LA, obviously, home base for me, so I know these theaters. Burbank 16, not a seat. Not one seat. Completely sold out. Even the front row, gone. Okay, let's roll to the next place. Let's go to the Grove. What are the biggies? Completely sold out. Not a single seat in the entire auditorium. Gone. Let's not do Americana. Let's do Century City. No seats. Even the handicap seats are taken here. Do you see, the space where the chairs go, obviously? Those are sold. There's one space for a chair, but that's it. Everything else is sold. Like, people are buying anything they can for this movie. No, hold on. We'll do Universal. Is Universal doing this? Let's see. It doesn't look like it. What? Why is Universal not doing one? It makes no sense. Now, before you get all excited, and I already saw a lot of you coming in here going, Barbie's going to be the biggest hit of the year. Just you wait. What happened with The Flash when it had its fan screenings last week and they were sold out the Monday before it opened? What happened to The Flash? 55 million. 64 for 4. So before you get way too high on these early screenings the night before, remember, we were just burnt. I was burnt by The Flash that did not fire. It bombed. Now, I'm going to tell you how Barbie will succeed or fail. This might be the biggest, I don't know about ever, but it's way up there, film that needs reviews. Very good reviews. This film, if it does not have stellar, I don't mean like it's good, it's fun. I'm talking it is great. It's a blast. You're going to laugh your ass off. That will determine this film's fate. Okay? So don't get too all up in these early screenings going, it's sold out. Don't do it. Don't fall into that trap, because this film is going to be massively dependent on the reactions to the film. They need to be 85% plus positive. If they're 50-50, watch out. This film could go south fast. I mean, this is really an all or nothing. This is a boom or bust film. That's how I'm viewing Barbie. I think it's very fair to look at that film in that light right now because of what we just saw with The Flash, which is, by the way, can I tell you one more time? Not bad. I'm going to stand by that, and I'm not going to move off of that position at all. So Barbie is going to be everything with the reviews. Look, Louis Trace, it's going to flop. That's right. It's going to be a flop. And then Jade, Empire box office. It's sold out in theaters around the country. Yes, but remember this. Jade, remember this. It's the first screening of a massively interesting film to most people. They're so curious. What did Greta Gerwig, what did Noah Baumbach do with this film? Did they make something that is next level? Not good. Great. Did they do something with the Barbie property that does for Barbie what the Lego movie did for Legos? Lord and Miller, if you give that film to anybody else, you don't get, I would argue, the animated masterpiece. Yes, it is the Lego movie that it is. So here we have Gerwig and Baumbach. Can their quirkiness, because we all know that Greta, and certainly if you've watched enough Noah Baumbach films, these are not commercial films. As much as I love Mistress America, there were a lot of people that are going to watch that film and go, "That what? This is too quirky. This is not what I really want to watch." I love Mistress America. I cannot praise that film enough. Of all the films that came out in the 2010s, this is going to sound, I've said this before, I'm saying it again for those of you who ever missed it. Mistress America might be the film that I revisit the most because of the dialogue by Noah and Greta working in simpatico on that script. I remember when I met Greta Gerwig at the Critics' Choice Awards, we were both in line for the bathroom. There were the porta potties outside, and Greta Gerwig's there, and I go, Greta, I just want to tell you that Mistress America is one of my favorite films, and the dialogue at the end of that film, especially, is like, that's what I'm talking about. Just real quick, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'll just give it to you as quickly as possible. At the end of the film, the dialogue goes something with Tracy, which is her character in Mistress America. She says, I wish I lived in feudal times when you knew your lot in life. One of the things that's tough in this world is knowing you can be anything and then having those expectations of being something be too much for you. When it's in feudal times, you're like, you're going to be a servant and there's no moving off of that. The caste system is set. You are lower class, end of story. And that line was brilliant. So Noah, Greta, let's see what you do with Barbie. And I'm telling you guys, do not think this is a slam dunk. This is absolutely not a slam dunk. I want to get to some super chats and then we'll continue along on the show. Let's do that here on this Tuesday. Thanks for being here. If you haven't already, like, subscribe. I want to thank you again for being here. The channel's really taken off over the past several weeks. The Flash was really big for us because we own that story. We were literally number one on the Flash bombing Friday, midday, coming on here saying this film is crashing. And that's what we aim to do. Whenever there's something like that in the marketplace, something that's happening that's big news, you need to be here. We're going to be on, whether it's now, 11 o'clock on the East Coast, 8 on the West Coast, or in the middle of the day like we did that day. Mr. McMillan, good to see you, sir. I expect to hate The Flash, but I thought it was great. CGI was terrible, but Ezra Keaton and Sasha were great performances. I agree 1,000,000% with this, not just because it's a super chat. I couldn't co-sign this more than telling you that it's perfect. Because, first of all, we talked about Sasha Collier and her performance. The choices she makes as Supergirl make that interesting. She plays it very understated, and that is what almost like a depressed, right? Because obviously she was stuck in Siberia, inside of that jail cube thing ball. And so she, just the way she plays that, nailed. And that speaks to Andy Muschietti, who is very good at getting strong performances out of his actors. That's not an issue with this film. Andy's issues with his films are they are too much. He needs to compact, contract, and get those things leaner and meaner. And that goes for every film from Mama to It 1, It 2, and now The Flash. Every film needs to be condensed. But I would agree 100%. The film's good, and I'm tired of hearing these things saying the film's garbage. I will say this. Anyone who wholesale trashes The Flash has an agenda. Whether that agenda is they are a Zack Snyder associate producer, massive eye roll, right? Look at me. Watch my eyes. If I could, my eyes would roll around inside my head. Zack Snyder associate producer. Imagine that's your calling card, right? I'm going to bring it, guys. Come on in. Imagine that's your thing. Who are you? I'm a Zack Snyder Justice League associate producer. Tell me that you have little going on in your life without telling me you have little going on in your life. Oh, sorry, guys. I got to do it. But you have to be compromised at some level if you think The Flash is unwatchable, if you think it's a terrible film. There's something that is not quite objective about that opinion. I really do. That's not me putting something out there that I'm just saying something to get a reaction. I believe that there is a lot of agenda in play with the hatred of The Flash. I forget a lot. Loads. Overflowing with agenda. Do Friday Night Tights with Neurotic. If he asked me, I'll do it. He's not asked me. Of course, I'll do it if he asks me to, Mega YouTube. But I'm afraid I would go in there and blow the thing up. I mean, no, I mean, I'm super opinionated, and I'm gonna get into it with people, and that's might be like a little uncomfortable. Okay, so I don't know if I really want. It's kind of like I want to, but I can't hold back. It's not something I do well. Hey, thank you. Big super chat here. I want to say, aha. I believe. Is it likely that Illumination's migration will be a box office smash this Christmas? Will it help prove that original movies are still economically viable as theatrical releases? Illumination's on fire, as we know. Super Mario Brothers, over $1 billion. What is it, $1.4 billion now? It's way up there. Illumination has had a very strong track record going back to Despicable Me, the success of that franchise. I was up at Universal yesterday, and you talk about all the Illumination properties that are in the gift shops. You've got Despicable Me, you've got Mario, which, by the way, everybody at Universal has one of those Super Mario Brothers movie character things on their head. It's like a hat that is Bowser, and they're walking around the park with those things. Universal has made so much cash. It is raining. Literally, there's cash flying in, raining from the skies at Universal based on what I saw yesterday from Super Mario Brothers, the merch alone. But then you go to Secret Life of Pets. They have a very good track record. People trust Illumination. So I would say migration being there in that Christmas corridor. Remember, we always talk about the Christmas corridor being the biggest 2 movie-going weeks of the year, bigger than summer, because it is compressed in those 2 weeks when everyone takes off for Christmas, for New Year's, and whatever holiday you want to celebrate then. They are in the multiplex. That is why you have so many movies. You're going to have migration. You're going to likely have, we'll see what happens with Aquaman. Maybe it gets moved out of there. But you've got Wonka. You've got The Color Purple. You've got Aquaman if it stays. You've got migration. You've got what else? There's more in there. But let's start with those 4 right there, right around Christmas. Warner Brothers with 3 of those. 3 films at Christmas. You tell me that's not the biggest time of the movie going year. Of course it is. So, yes, that's a great question. I would put that on, if I were buying a stock in a film, I would put some cash on migration now. That's a great question. Thank you for Super Chat. Let's see if there's any more right now. And I'm going to go along to the next topic here. Come in with your Barbie stuff. Telling you guys, don't get crazy on the film. Don't get all out of control. All right, let's go to the next topic, and then we'll come back in, and we'll do all the comments at the end. When we get to that point, I'll be looking for your input on any of this stuff. Michael Shannon, do you see what he did again? He savaged Star Wars. Listen, we told you that Michael Shannon is unadulterated in being as open as he can be, unvarnished, says it like it is to him. Boy, that sounds a lot like someone you're listening to right now. And when he said he had no interest in being in Star Wars, let me pull up the article, because when I read it, I go, I love seeing this, because you guys know, if I haven't told you this before, I like Star Wars, but I'm not like, I don't want to talk about Star Wars all the time as I look at Mandalorian as everywhere. I don't watch the series. Of course, I grew up with Star Wars, but at some point, I didn't like grow up and stop watching. I'm done with Star Wars. Of course, I watched all the films. But at some point, we need more in our lives than just these giant blockbusters. That's exactly what he says here. The world doesn't need more mindless entertainment. Michael Shannon, recent interview with Empire Magazine. I don't ever want to get stuck in a franchise. Well, he sort of is as Zod, but probably not ever again. I don't find them interesting and don't want to perpetuate them. If I'm making something, I want there to be some kind of purpose to it. I don't want to make mindless entertainment. The world doesn't need more mindless entertainment. We're inundated with it, which I would agree with. Listen, I understand that you guys want to talk about the big films, right? You want to talk about The Flash. You want to talk about Little Mermaid. I'm not saying you liked it or not, but you want to discuss it. You want to go talk about Transformers, Rise of the Beast, Spider-Verse 2, Fast X, the big 4-quad tent poles that we get in the summer. But you guys know what I prefer. Sorry, get out your bingo cards, everybody. MMT bingo cards, there it is. I prefer films like this because I love original storytelling, and everything about this film is perfection. Every single thing, every element of this film is perfection. So I want to watch that. I get what Michael Shannon is talking about. If you look at Michael Shannon's background, how he came up through theater and then through the roles he selected, a lot of indie films. Go back and look at Take Shelter, a film that really put him on the map. Jessica Chastain in that. Great film. Mike Nichols directed. Jeff Nichols. Jeff, not Mike Nichols, Jeff. And you look at that film, Midnight Special, down the road from that. When you look at Take Shelter and you look at Michael Shannon, he is a true actor, right? He's not one of these personalities. He is going to give you a little bit something different in every role. Now, granted, he plays intense better than anybody, but he also doesn't suffer fools gladly. And for that, we love Michael Shannon because he will just say what his reality is, which is exactly what this channel is all about. We don't hold back at all, ever. In fact, I'm surprised. Some of the times, some of the things I say here, I'm shocked they don't get cut out because so many people are coming after me 24/7. Oh, Eric Weber said this, Eric Weber said that. And then we talk about merit 24/7 and say, we're not anti-woke, we're anti-forced inclusion. And so look, people are like, oh, here he comes. No. We're about merit, not forced inclusion, merit. You merit your spot, period. End of discussion. Everyone is viewed the same. Color of skin doesn't matter. Sex doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. None of it. You and your abilities to do the job that we're asking you to do is all we're going to base you getting hired on. We are not even going to pay attention to whether you're white, black, green, purple, or orange. Me in the sun for a while, bright orange. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Why don't we do this? And you know I'm right. Give me a like, because every time I say that, I always wait for someone to come in and attack. You know why they can't? Because there's no attack to that. There's nothing. The only one is some lame, tired, says the white guy. Says the guy with the white privilege. Yeah, the white privilege. The guy who's on a YouTube channel here, slowly building this thing over a year, busting my ass, trying every night to bring you best possible content and be absolutely authentic, objective, all that. It had nothing to do with my race, my sex. I hope it has to do with what I bring to the table from an evaluation standpoint. But so Michael Shannon, we love you. We love you, Michael Shannon, for being absolutely ruthless and just bringing on anything that comes to your mind and just saying it. I appreciate that, especially in Hollywood. It's okay to laugh. Super chat. Barbie will be too niche, to be honest. First question distributors ask, what's your demographic? Great point. When you look at Barbie, you say, who is the demographic? You're going to tell me is kids. This is not a kids movie. First of all, you haven't seen the trailer. You don't know anything about Noah Baumbach or Greta Gerwig if you're telling me the kids are the demographic here. If you were talking about a Barbie movie made by some hack commercial director, yes, then you would say it's a kids movie. But Noah Baumbach, Greta Gerwig, writing a script, it's not a kids movie. There'll be elements that work with the kids, but let me talk about this too. Since we're here on Barbie, I do want to mention this, and I said this before, and now that I have, we can really get into Barbie because we're getting closer and closer. Here is one of my fears for Barbie as well, and I'm going to put it out here now, and you can clip this and use this when the film comes out if it comes back to bite Warner's in the ass. My sources who have seen the test screening of Barbie tells me, and listen, I'm going to state this for a reporter as an objective, telling you what it is, and I'm going to give you a little opinion, but it's not about me disagreeing with it. You guys don't understand. I am as objective, as neutral as possible, but I'm talking about the marketing of the film and the money the film can make. I am told that in Barbie, there is a trans character. Now, why am I bringing that up? Because you guys know, I don't care, unless you've been literally hibernating over the past several months, you guys know what happened to Bud Light, okay? I'm not here to tell you whether it's right or wrong. That's not what we're doing here. I'm telling you the situation. And the situation with Bud Light is that they did an ad campaign with Dylan Mulvaney. Is that how you say it? I honestly don't understand what that person brings of value. Again, I'm not going to value somebody only because of their sex or because of the color of their skin. I'm going to say, what do you do that makes you unique? Right? Okay, that's all I'm going to say about it. And I got news for you. Me being a dude does not make me unique. You being a girl, you being trans, I'm sorry. It makes you more unique than some, but it doesn't, that can't be the only thing that is interesting about you. If so, we need to expand the repertoire that you're working with. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about it. But when you look at Bud Light, their sales are down, is it 33% or more? I don't care what bar you go to, and trust me, I go to a few. I'm not like I drink, for God's sake. I'm like a teetotaler. But when you go there, you talk to any of the bartenders, you talk to any of the wait staff, they will tell you, and they'll tell you off the record because they're just shooting the shit like anybody would when they're just, hey, here it is. They're going to tell you that the sales for Bud Light have gone down 50%. I mean, it's like noticeably fallen off into a crevasse. Okay. So here's what I'm going to tell you here tonight. If Warner Brothers pushes ahead with a trans character in Barbie, I don't know how much it's in. I'm just telling you it's there. It was in the test screen. If Warner Brothers decides to go down that route and it backfires in the court of public opinion, not from you necessarily, not from me, but from the people who buy tickets for movies. This is a business we're talking about, guys. We're talking about money here. We're not talking about whether it's right or wrong. Give me a thumbs up if you understand what I'm doing here, because that's what we try to do. We walk into these really fierce ideological battles and we come out trying to explain to you we're talking about the business. We're not talking about whether it's right or wrong. You gotta feel me on this. But when you as a business are going to go down that route, watch out. We just saw what happened to Bud Light. So Warner Brothers, should you decide to do that, go for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just telling you, if it comes back to bite you in the ass on the business end of it with Barbie's box office, remember, you heard it here on Midnight Movie Talk first. Comments. Give me your comments. I think I listen, I know when shit works and when shit doesn't. What I just said about Barbie was bang on. I mean, that was, I think, as perfectly as we could put that. And by the way, can I just say this? Is there, here's why. Okay, Jector, here's why I discuss some of this stuff over and over. Because I am tired of pretending these things don't exist. So in other words, if Barbie gets caught up in that situation here in a month when it comes out, if it does, I'm not saying it is, but if it does, all of a sudden it's going to become this huge story. And yet I'm here tonight, a month out, saying here's what could happen. That shouldn't be the case with a dude on YouTube in Los Angeles on a stream on a Tuesday night. That should be happening down the street from me, a stone's throw away at Warner Brothers, where the WGA is picketing night and day out there trying to get this strike over. These discussions need to be happening there. This is about money, ultimately. Zaslav, whatever you think of him, he's the CEO of Warner Brothers. He has to know business. Because ultimately, it's about the bottom line, not necessarily the creativity of it all. Yes, it's Hollywood, but we still got to make some money. Why don't you talk to them about Flash right now? You don't think they're going, what happened? Well, we told you what happened. We gave you the 5 reasons. I'm not going over them again. Go back and watch the stream. We told you exactly what happened with that film. I'm telling you here tonight, if Barbie goes down, if Barbie suffers, and because of that, remember I told you that that would be an issue. Because people now are just ready. No, Max, I'm just telling you, this is, I hope you're saying you. I didn't say I would. I'm going to see Barbie, whether the entire film is that. I'm talking about the average person going to buy a ticket for Barbie. If they find out that the same thing that pissed them off about the Bud Light, Dylan Mulvaney thing is situating itself here in this film, you don't think that's going to affect ticket sales? I'm not telling you, Max. Here's what you need to understand. We're not discussing whether it's right or wrong. We're telling you that you need to get out of your bubble and understand there's people that don't like that, and they will make emotion with their pocketbook and put it back in instead of buying the ticket. That's what we do here. We're breaking down all the angles. We're apolitical. Really, honest to God, we are. Okay, if you call me like someone who is all about merit, political, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Political is being the other way. Political is saying that we're trying to fill agendas, we're trying to fill quotas. No, I'm saying merit. So I'm not political. I'm apolitical. You know what I am? I am an bullshit caller. If something's bullshit, I'm going to tell you. And I'll go back to Elemental because we're doing this. I'm doing it again. I'm sorry. Guys, I apologize. I cannot stop myself when we get down this shit because I can't. I need to say what's in me. It's going to come out. Here it is. Boom. Ready? Remember, liar, liar. Jim Carrey. I cannot not tell the truth. My truth. Elemental. Remember what we talked about with that film? It just bombed. You're telling me that Disney doesn't have a problem with all of that? Look, I'm putting it in quotes because I hate saying it. Woke. Go back and look at Elemental. Go look at Lightyear. Go look at Strange World. Go look at these films that are falling apart recently. Disney. Little Mermaid did better stateside than overseas. So that's a positive. But you look at Disney as a brand, they just fired their diversity. Well, the diversity officer just stepped down. She's leaving. She's going to do work at another company. I don't know if it was a forced move or not. That's the early report. Their diversity officer is leaving her post. Here's the thing, is that there is a segment of the population that buys things. Let's just dumb this down as much as possible. That does not like Disney's politics, does not like being this forced, if you want to call it forced inclusion. Okay. Now, remember, everyone is about ready to pounce. Listen to me. When we talk about forced inclusion, we're talking about something that feels inorganic. And here's the great way to combat that. Everyone says, great example of this. Remember when Fantastic Four came out? Everyone was like, oh my God, Michael B. Jordan, how can he be Human Torch? He doesn't look like Human Torch in the comics. Here's the thing, though. You can say what you want about Fantastic Four. I don't think it's as bad as everyone thinks. Josh Trank didn't completely destroy the film. It's not great, but it's also not the worst comic movie of all time. That would be Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 84 is one of the most embarrassing works of film ever released. And the fact that James Gunn fired Patty Jenkins, essentially, after Wonder Woman 84, good for you, James Gunn. You nailed it. After I watched Wonder Woman 84, if I watched the test cut, right, we talked about like Halloween Ends, we talked about Cocaine Bear, these films that are terrible, Beau's Afraid. As soon as that thing was over, I'm on the Warner Brothers lot. They say, hey, we got the cut that we think we're ready with this Wonder Woman 84. I would get out of my seat. I would look at Patty Jenkins and go, you fucking wrote this movie? This is the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen in my life. Like, this is unacceptable. Who said that this script we greenlit? Who gave you the right to make this movie as you wrote it on the page? It's abysmal. It's embarrassing. It is fireable offense. Not because, oh, here it comes, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm really going off tonight. Not because Patty Jenkins a woman. Because the movie is a fucking disaster from a screenplay perspective. And the fact that Patty Jenkins thought that Wonder Woman 84 is a good film and will make that tells me you don't know what you're doing and you're done. It's over. Patty Jenkins, it's over. And I was right. Because James Gunn backed me up. It's literally it is the worst CBM of all time. I just watched a guy, by the way, tonight, who's Angel Blu-ray or 3C or something. I somehow on my YouTube page came up with 3C films. And I was looking through and I'm like, is this guy? And I'm like, what am I watching, first of all? Second of all, I go through the videos and here it is, him talking about Wonder Woman 84. And I go, I got to listen to this. It's pretty good. I mean, it has some flaws, but it's pretty. Boom, dude, 3C dude. When you claim that Wonder Woman 84 is, quote, pretty good, you are canceled as a film evaluator for all time. It is over. There is no redeeming. And before everyone comes in here and goes, you liked Ant-Man 3. Ant-Man 3 literally, I almost said something that's totally foul. I'm not going to do it. Ant-Man 3 is light years better than Wonder Woman 84. No, Catwoman. Listen, nothing's worse than Wonder Woman 84. You've got a magic dildo. You've got her raping a guy, right? Essentially, you've got the Chris Pine as some other person. Who wrote this? And the biggest crime, though, every time we could do this Wonder Woman 84 rant, you make a movie set in 1984 and you have let's remind you again, one 80s song playing in the background of the bar. And it's not even a big hit. Patty Jenkins, you couldn't have fucked that film up more. There's no way for someone that's the worst sequel of all time. There's no way to make a worse film than Wonder Woman 84. Like, it's impossible. There's no possible way that you could make Wonder Woman 84 film worse as a prequel in this case than Wonder Woman 84 compared to the original. The original is pretty solid. I liked it. It's not 84 is an absolute embarrassment to cinema. Diana, super chat. Did you talk yet about the amazing early reviews? This is a perfect super chat. Let's roll into it because, yes, I wanted to get to this. We are going to talk about Mission Impossible, the first reactions. Now, as I discuss Mission Impossible, I want to tell you guys that we're going to do a stream on this next. Here's the Variety article. I don't want it that big. I'm going to see it next Tuesday night. We are going to do a Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1 of 2. Is that the name of the title? Next Tuesday. It had the world premiere in Rome. They invited some special press to see it here in LA. The safe press. Can I say, before we get into the reactions, one person didn't like the film, at least one. And that person, and listen, for everybody, I need to be, man, how do I do this? Okay, just give me a second. Scott Mendelsohn's awesome. I love him. He's a super nice human being. I've talked to Scott many times. He's been to our movie Twitter events. He's just a really good human being. Now, I just glossed it up, and now it's time to. Sorry, I got to do this, Scotty. As a film critic, I don't think there's anybody who has been more incorrect or on the wrong side of history than Scott Mendelsohn. So when he tells me that Mission Impossible 7 his words were essentially, it's not great, it looks like a COVID film, blah, blah, I go, oh shit, he's doing it again. Remember, Scott didn't like Maverick. And at that point, it's over. He also did he like Cocaine Bear? He likes films that are terrible. And I go, what was the James Wan movie? Malignant. He thought Malignant was like one of the best movies of the year. Did you see Malignant? It's fucking horrible. Oh my God, it's so bad. Okay, I love you, Scott, but my God, as a critic, Scott. Let's do it. Let's look at these early reactions. Let's make me smaller and make the Variety article bigger. Perry Nemiroff, is that how you say it? Remember our problem with Perry. Okay, I'm gonna pop up the Twitter on her real quick. So first of all, she works for Collider. So let's just get a few things out in the open because that's what we do here. She works for Collider. She does that thing for the pre-movie. If you go early to the movies, you see Perry talking about stuff. Okay. Here's the problem when you do things like that. You can't be as ruthless with your reviews as I am. You can't. So Perry has to admit that. If we had Perry on the stream right now, in fact, if you have her, I know she does the stream, go ask her that question because she can't say she can be as unvarnished as me. She can't. She knows that. So if you asked her, she'd have to say, you're right, I can't. Because she's compromised because she's getting a paycheck from that early, it's like, welcome to the movies. I'm Perry and here's what's happening. And this movie looks great. When you have to be that relentlessly positive and basically be a PR shill for the movie, there's no possible way for you to hammer films. And I think that's fair. Go back and look at her reviews recently. You're never going to see anything that's really bad. She also works for Collider. Collider sells ads for movies. Therefore, they cannot really truly savage a film. Okay, that's fair. Everything, give me a thumbs up if you think that was fair, what I just said. I think it's 100% fair. I think even Perry would have to say if she watched this, you're 100% right. Okay, so let's get into what she said as we get into this. Another winner for the franchise. Yet again, the production values through the roof, which I believe you can see in those trailers for sure. Some of the most well-defined and exhilarating set pieces photographed in ways that truly make you feel like you're in the middle of the film, I assume. I'm not going to click on Explore and go for a few of these. Mike Ryan, familiar, he writes for Uprocks, I believe. Works on Christopher McQuarrie's ambitious examination of meditation on AI and dangerous path we might be on. That sounds interesting to me. See, I'm already into it because I love the exploration of AI. Could be one of the worst things that ever happened to us. Now, granted, we did that in Terminator. I get it. But why can't we do it again? Maybe in a different setting. Joseph Deckelmeyer. This is phenomenal. Haley Atwell steals every scene she's in. Now, my favorite Mission Impossible film, the AI being the villain. Okay, good. Cautionary tale, same thing, AI. Dynamite, timely story. Jermaine Lucier, I believe. Gets a little dense at times. It's pace and intensity more than cover that. It's like 2:45, so the pacing better be good. Kate or Bland. After the insanity of the last films, tremendous amount to live up to. One thing I can say now in quick reaction, it does the best job yet of part 1 of 2. Okay, so this is Eric Davis, our boy. Everybody, Eric Davis in the house. Here's our guy who will never savage a movie. So let's read what Eric Davis had to say, knowing that he will never savage a movie. And you can go check for yourself. I don't need to prove that. You can go look. Let's read what he had to say. I had an absolute best time watching Mission Impossible, an impeccably made action film that does not stop entertaining. Each action sequence is long, crazy, and intense. The story is big and sprawling, but I like how it both felt complete and left you dying for what comes next. The next line clearly was, "You need to see this on the biggest screen possible, because I work for Fandango and I sell movie tickets." Frosty, Steven Weintraub. It's incredible. The fastest 2 hour and 30-minute movie I've ever seen in a long time. One of the best films, blah, blah. Remember, though, everybody, that Frosty got flown to Rome. Let's remind you, and Frosty, I hope someone cuts this out and shows it to you, because I'm right, because that's what I do. I absolutely just spit facts. That is what MMT specializes in. When you get flown to Rome, halfway around the world, to go to the premiere, there is a 0, and I do mean this, 0% chance that you are going to come out of the movie and have anything less than glowing praise, because you just got flown halfway around the world, 5-star hotel, dinner, meal, stars, all that shit paid for. All expenses paid for. You cannot hammer a film at that point, and Frosty knows it, and I'm going to hammer you again when it comes to show of the week, because you really shouldn't be commenting about a film. Frosty should not be commenting about films anymore, because it's a major conflict of interest with him getting flown around the globe to go to these things and then come out and say the movie's great. Give me a thumbs up. Come in and give me someone in a super chat. I can't get through all these comments because my producer is MIA tonight. I'm doing my best. Come in and tell me I'm right, because I'm right. And Frosty, let's hope someone clips this for you. And if you have a problem with what I have to say, come up and tell me in person when you see me in LA, because you won't be able to. You know why you won't? Because what I just said is 100% true. That's the issue. The problem is, whenever we talk about stuff here, no one ever comes up and says you're wrong, because I'm spitting facts and I'm telling you everything's based in objectivity. And Frosty, you cannot be unbiased and be flown to Rome. It just doesn't work like that. So you, my friend, will very likely be our shill of the week coming up on Sunday. And I love doing this, because let me tell you real quickly about something. As we talk about MI7, we'll get ready to do open comments here. I do want to talk about Jonathan Majors, the court situation today. Man, it's a busy-ass show. My God, where's my producer tonight? I got screwed. I need a producer because I have so much stuff. Listen, when you look at Eric Davis, I think one thing that we were very much a part of, if you've noticed lately, when a film is not great, he's dialed down the praise. And you know why? Because he has seen our clips. People have told him that we've gone after him repeatedly, because at the end of the day, Eric Davis cannot refute. There's a 0%. He can't refute the fact that he's a shill. There's no chance. Like, he can't do it, right? So you can come at me and say, you're biased, or you are racist, whatever the shit is. I'm going to refute the shit out of that. I'm going to say, here's what the situation is. Boom, boom, boom. If you go to Eric Davis and say, that just got a lot, like, I upped the intensity. I went from shill to racist. That's a lot. That's a lot. I understand. We just cranked the knob a lot. When you look at being a shill, if you went to Eric Davis and called him to his face, you're a shill. You work for Fandango. You sell tickets. How can you be a critic? There's no way he can defend his position. There's nothing he can say that will correct that. So that's why these people are powerless when we put them under the lens, like Matt Naglia. It's not personal. This is never a personal situation. It's about telling you the reality of the situation. And ultimately, if that's what we do, that's what we do, because we need to be absolutely fearless. We cannot be afraid of what someone's going to think about us. And I hope you aren't either, because you don't need to be. Now, that says you don't just like go off and say, remember, whenever we do Shill of the Week or whatever, when I'm talking about Frosty, I didn't just say you're a crappy human being, you're bald, you're small, okay, listen, that's rude. That's totally over the line. That's personal. We're telling you that you are a shill, and your reviews really shouldn't be listened to because we can't trust you. You guys know, if there's one thing no one is ever, someone's going to come in right now. No one is ever, with any measure of truth, call me a shill. It's never happened because they can't. There's nothing, right? You're never going to be able to do that because a shill would never call a film a career killer. One of the worst films ever made. Damien Chazelle's worst film easily, the second the movie is over. So I'm not a shill. So say what you want about me. You can't say shill. That guy's a loud mouth. That Eric Weber's a loud mouth. We don't like him because he's opinionated. But that's not. It's not a That's an issue with your reaction to me. That's not me saying something that is wrong. Okay, hold on. I got some super chats. I'm going. I got Diana in there. Thank you. Perfect, by the way, super chat on that. I'm going to open it up. We're going to get to Jonathan Majors in a minute because I do want to talk about that. Because as we know, I didn't get to the Challengers trailer. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you, Mega YouTube. I did not watch the Challengers trailer because I'm gonna see it. I don't want the film ruined. I know Zendaya's in a love triangle. It's a tennis movie. I like tennis. I grew up with Agassi, Sampras, Chang, on and on and on, right? Back in that day, McEnroe, Borg, going back to when I was a little kid, Jimmy Connors, all of that. So I want to see a tennis movie. I'm totally down for that. And obviously, filmmaker is very talented. So when you look at the everything's there. I haven't watched the trailer. I'll talk about that. You know what? I'll give you a free. Well, I'll use the super chat on Thursday when we talk about. I was supposed to go see No Hard Feelings tonight, but I decided I kind of just wanted to see it on Thursday. I know a lot of you saw it Saturday. I'm excited to see. A lot of people really like the film. I think it's funny. And Jennifer Lawrence kicks it. It's raunch-com. So we'll talk about that Thursday night. They showed the Barbie trailer tonight in front of Elemental. I could feel the awkwardness in the theater full of kids. It's not a kid's film. That's perfect because we're talking about Barbie tonight. It's not a kid's film. Might be the big problem with this film is that families. Okay, let's listen to me. Hear me out here because let's go in on Barbie because this is a good time. Again, here we go with Barbie again. When you look at Barbie, it's not a kid's movie. It's not. It's Barbie, but it's not a kid's movie, okay? So think about it this way. Think about it not quite like a Joker, okay? I know that's a little much, right? When you say Joker's not a kid's movie, obviously. That's hard R. But I'm saying it's kind of in that realm. Now, let me explain, okay? Because here comes everybody to pile on. Barbie, if it were made by a commercial filmmaker and writer, then you would have a family film. When you have Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach working with the way I've seen all their work, okay, so I know intimately what they're going to write. Essentially, watching the trailer, it's going to play on multiple levels, but that's not going to work for the little kids, and it doesn't look at all for the little kids, other than Goofy dancing and Ken being a goof, right? Ryan Gosling. It's not a kids movie. So if it's not a kids movie. And then, here we go again, guys. Remember, we're not judging the trans character. We're just telling you the trans character is in the test screen. If you throw the trans character in there and it's already kind of like not a kid's film, based on what we're seeing with Disney, do you see how I can tell you that Barbie could be in huge trouble with families? Because we've just seen what's happened to Disney with all those films in a row. All the animated films for sure. Pixar, Elemental, down. Lightyear, down. Strange World, Walt Disney Animation, down. Because they don't like the quote, and I put it in quotes because I can't stand the word, woke politics. So, if I tell you that Barbie could have the same problem, it's fair. It's a fair criticism to have, and I'm bringing it out there because it's going to prove when it happens, if it does, it's going to end up being very Nostradamus-y again from us here at MMT. That's what we do. We are ahead of the game. We are 3 steps ahead of everybody else. Timothy Chalamet, let's go. MMT, the best talking YouTube. Here's my boy. Thank you, Timothy. You're my man. We got a picture together before. Indiana Jones and the Torture of Eric Weber. I wanted to mention that. Great way to seg into this. Let's do it. So Indiana Jones, hold on. Did I make a graphic? Oh, I didn't make a graphic. Okay, let's just go to Twitter and just hit it. Let's just hit the Twitter button. I feel like so far, give me a thumbs up. I feel like we've absolutely slayed another show here tonight. It's early. We're not done. But I feel like we've come on. If I had a producer, it'd be better. But it's okay. It's okay, guys. Don't worry. I'm doing it by myself. I'm good. When you look at Indiana Jones, here it comes. It's out next week. Disney knows Indiana Jones is in big trouble. Disney is fully aware that Indiana Jones is in really bad spot because the reviews are not great. Let's click on the trend. And they are now giving you the full court press on Indiana Jones, okay? So here is Indiana Jones, John Williams. There's the music, which is good. Hello, but it's too much. You know how many times in Indiana Jones, in the dial of mediocrity, it's being very kind to call it mediocre, it's like, dun, 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 like, how many times do we get that cue? It's literally like early, dun, 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 then we get a few minutes, about 10 minutes. Then here comes another action scene. Dun, 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 dun. It's like, James Mangold, I really like how you make films. I'm a fan of your filmmaking, Logan, not the script as much, especially the villain. The villain's abysmal. And of course, what did you do? What did you do, James Mangold? You brought your boy Holbrook from the worst comic book villain ever that doesn't do anything evil, but yet is the southern drawl, motherfucker, main ass bitch. You bring him back into Indiana Jones where he's a one-note henchman going, hey, Indiana Jones, come over here. I got a gun. I'm going to shoot your ass. Why? Why are you bringing this? Why are you bringing Holbrook in? I'm not going to call him a clown. It's not quite that far. But Mangold, why do you like this guy? Can someone explain to me? He's one note. Why is he here? And he's the whole film during Indiana Jones and the dial of mediocrity. You've got Holbrook going, come here, Indy. I got my Luger and I'm going to shoot you in the head. The whole I'm going to shoot you in the head. I'm going to shoot you in the head. That's the movie. That is Indiana Jones and the dial of mediocrity. Disney's panicking, and they should be. This film is as forgettable as any. If I hear one person, and I mean one, you point them out to me because I will come after them, fists up, ready to go MMA style. If you tell me, I literally have to stop for a second because I'm going to lose my shit. If one person tells me that Indiana Jones and the dial of mediocrity is better than The Flash, one person, I'm going to tear the studio apart. I'm going to rip the camera down. I'm going to start pulling FYC screeners off the wall. I am going to go bonkers because there's no universe in which Indiana Jones and the dial of mediocrity is better than The Flash. So if anyone says that, you have my permission, as always, to disregard everything they say going forward and going backward, just like our boy 3C. Wonder Woman 84 is actually a pretty good movie. It's over. It's over. There's no recovering from calling Wonder Woman 84 a pretty good movie. It's done. To this day, Menzel was one of the first people that said, it's really fun, Wonder Woman 84. And I go, listen, dude, I don't agree with you on a lot of things, but when you uttered that, I really can't ever listen to you. I mean, it's so bad. It's so bad. The horrible accent, I'm doing my best, but it's not like Holbrook's doing something interesting. Again, he's like, hey, Indy, come here, man. I'm going to show you a thing or two with my Luger. With his mustache. I just got to get rid of the bottom half. And I'm like, look, it's Holbrook. And the thing is I believe I'd be more menacing because, as you guys know, I'm more physically built than Holbrook. So as such, I would already be a better villain. So Mangold, you fucked up. That's all I got to tell you. You fucked up. Now, okay, hold on. I'll do one more. Yep, Kate, here it comes. Sorry, I missed some of these. If I had a producer, it would be good. there is a trans character in the test screenings. There is. Warner Brothers is not going to like me saying this, but I don't care. I mean, at this point, it's out there. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. The argument the trans character has to serve the story is such a BS argument. Whether you like it or not, trans people exist. So having a character like this is just a reflection. No, I'm not arguing that. I'm just telling you. Do you understand what we're doing here? This is what drives me crazy. I can't do, guys. I promise I'm not gonna. Okay, we are gonna talk movies. Listen, listen to me, please. Please don't make me do this again. When we talk about these things, it's not my personal opinion about them. Everyone's got their own lot in life, whatever they do. I just don't want to be told. Here's what I don't want to be told. That someone is better or deserves more privileges because of the color of their skin, the sex, the gender. I don't want to hear that, because the way I was raised, Gen X, and Gore will back me up. Ken Murray's in the chat. He'll back me up. Why is it that we were raised as kids in Gen X where people are people? We had a Fat Albert cartoon, and I didn't think for one fucking second watching Fat Albert that those people that were on the screen were different than me. I didn't go, whoa, this is some weird, what are these people? I'm like, it's Fat Albert. They just have they live in a different place. That's all I thought. I didn't think anything else. Why did we think that? Why does everything have to be about race? When I was a kid, no one talked about Fat Albert. And it's all about. No, we just watched Fat Albert. We didn't make it a big deal. We watched Different Strokes. And while, yes, it dealt with those themes, I didn't think about Gary Coleman as being different from me as a kid. The fact that he's black. What the fuck are we doing, you guys? Stop doing this shit. And the people that make that their lives, I swear to God, if you are somebody who makes that your whole thing, you are completely of zero value to this world. Just know that. You bring nothing to the table. In fact, actually, you make the world a worse place. So congratulations on you making that your livelihood. I can't imagine making my livelihood something that makes the world worse. Now, you all coming in like, well, that's Midnight Movie Talk. What are you talking about? It's a terrible show. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Imagine if you actively did something that was against doing the moral good for you, and you tell yourself, right? You tell yourself that it's good because you make lies up and you tell yourself a story. So you do this, but it turns out you're just creating a situation for you to make cash off of some. You're capitalizing on something and you're making the world a worse place. That's the problem with the world today. We have too many people that are compromised. They're making money on things that they know are inherently wrong, and they have no moral compass, and they suck as human beings. That's the problem with the world. They're corrupted. And for whatever reason, guys, I don't know what it is. If it's just my generation, I know Ken's like that, Gore's like that. We're all the same. Generation X. We can't be bought. There's something about Generation X that's like, go fuck yourself. We're going to do what we want to do. Don't tell me how to do shit. We're the real rebels. Gen X, if it wasn't for Gen X, the planet would have been over by now. We saved planet Earth. And if we get through the shit we're going through now, it's because of people like us. Look at all the Gen Xers, okay? You're going to say, well, if I say Joe Rogan, you're all going, oh my God. Joe Rogan. Big. I would argue as objective as it gets. Now, you might not love the guy. I understand. But guess what? The problem with that is your politics are getting involved. Joe Rogan, Gen X. Look at everybody who's a major like loudmouth. Me, Gen X. Major loudmouth. Look at Tucker Carlson. You're all, oh my God, Gen X. Why is Gen X like objective? And yes, I hate to tell you this, as much as you might not like it, and I'm not saying I watch Tucker Carlson. I don't watch Tucker Carlson barely at all, like barely. But if you watch him and really listen to what he says, it's generally based more objectively than I would suggest a lot of people on some other channels. He's no longer on Fox, as you guys know. Watch, I'm going to lose everybody now. Oh my God, look at him. He's a Tucker Carlson fan. Here's what I like. I like anybody who is unafraid to tell you their personal, authentic truth with the situation. And that's what I do here. And I think that's what Tucker Carlson does. I think that's what Joe Rogan does. I think when you get rid of the bullshit from people, and in this town, in Hollywood, there's so many people that are just full of shit. Literally, you talk to them for a second, you go, my God, you're not even a real person. Like, who are you? I think the one thing, again, watch half the YouTubers. Look at a Zach Pope. I know I always drag this dude, but whenever I see Zach Pope, I see a guy who's putting on hey guys, I saw The Flash. It's really awesome, man. You should see it. It's so great. We come on here and we go, listen, people might have an issue with the film. I don't know what they are, because when I watch The Flash, I see a super entertaining film led by an Ezra Miller that is stellar in that double role, funny as hell, and he's just a great comedic actor. I think he's a fantastic thespian. You look back at Perks of a Wallflower, there's something about Kevin. Watch, there's a reason why Ezra Miller got into the DCEU, now the DCU, because he was so great in those films, right? Yeah, obviously Harry Potter picked him up because they watched Perks of a Wallflower. I didn't really love There's Something About Kevin. I think he's very good in it, but obviously it's a dark film. It's about Tilda Swinton and him, and he's the son, and he ends up committing, is it a mass shooting? I believe. So it's about their relationship, and then he goes off and does a heinous act. The movie's super dark, okay, but he's very good in it. But you look at Perks of a Wallflower, which, by the way, Perks of a Wallflower is free on YouTube right now. Free. If you have not watched it, it's there with the ads, right? The free movie. Go watch The Perks of a Wallflower after the stream. Not now. We're almost done. We're coming up on an hour. We're going to go a little bit longer. We only go an hour. You guys know that. Ezra Miller is so good in Perks of a Wallflower that you see a star. You watch the film and you go, that guy. You know, we see enough films, you see enough shows, whatever it is you watch. As soon as you see somebody that pops, you go, that guy. That's it. That's the guy. That's the star. It doesn't take much, because you watch enough mediocrity, you watch enough Zach Popes, and you go, oh, and then you see something, oh, well, that's better. It's not hard. I mean, sorry, Zach. I'm sorry we continually beat you down, but dude, the problem is, don't be fake. If you're fake, guess what, y'all? Y'all going to be soups fake. When you are fake, I'm not going to go along with it at all. The bullshit detector is gonna go absolutely bonkers. Is the sirens all going off, and I'm like, this doesn't work. Jimmy, listen, I got one more topic I want to get to before we get done here tonight. Listen, do me a favor, separate the art and the artist. Just please, Jimmy, listen to me. Go watch Perks of a Wallflower. When the stream's over, we're almost done. It's on YouTube for free. Watch it, and then come back on Thursday and tell me listen to me, without your politics, without you saying Ezra Miller's a scumbag, which is fine. I'm not saying you can't think that way, but I want you to try to, because we're trying to get you to this space. I think the number one thing I want to do here is to get you, the viewer, to a space of a critical thinker, where you are asking questions and you are not being told by political leaders and or the talking box, although you might be watching on one right now. You are not going to prejudge. You're not going to let the tribalism enter. You're just going to watch Ezra Miller in Perks of a Wallflower and go, the kid's good. The kid's really good. So that is... Yes, I did. I got the super chat about elimination, the start of the show. I did get that. Thanks for bringing it to me. Let's talk, because I do want to get to this. By the way, we're going to have to go long tonight, because I've got M&T's must see. Tonight's kit, Chicago Fire, MLS. I've also got Jonathan Majors in court. In fact, let's do that right now. Jonathan Majors in court in New York today. And here's the latest. Let's pull up the article from, I believe we are going to use CNN tonight. Wow, we're going CNN tonight with our game. Jonathan Majors' trial set for August. So here he is in court today. You see him with his defender, his attorney, and I don't know who the other guy is. No idea. So it's going to court in August. He was in the courthouse today. A hearing related to assault and harassment charges brought to him in March by Manhattan District Attorney's Office. Judge Rachel S. Pauley set a trial date of August 3rd. Okay, through his attorney, Majors denied the allegations against him related to that incident in New York City back on March 25th. We went live that night. Huge stream for us because we were there. We were talking about it. We really broke that thing down as much as we could. We know Kang Dynasty was just pushed back a whole year. Comes out, 2026? Is it 2026? 2025? It's forever. Because of this. It's because of this. CG and Jonathan Majors. According to the complaint, Majors accused of striking a woman about the face with an open hand, causing substantial pain and a laceration behind her ear. Also claims, quote, he put her hand on her neck, causing bruising and substantial pain. In a statement to CNN, his attorney, Priya Chaudhry, called the allegations false, reiterated his team has provided investigators video evidence that exonerates Majors. So there he is again. You can see him with his new girlfriend, Megan Good. Have I seen Megan Good before? No, I don't want the news summarized for me every day. That's not. I don't need that. I don't. What have I seen Megan Good in something? I don't. Tell me now. Come in real quick. Obviously, we know we've seen him, Creed 3, Ant Man. Go back and look at The Last Black Man in San Francisco when I first saw him. But as you know, Kang Dynasty pushed off. So here he is. There's one more article I want to get to because I think there's a little bit more on this. Let me go to People. So there he is again, another picture of him in court. And yeah, I mean, basically, we're going to have to wait because the last hearing was on May 9th. Now we have this one. And now we have to wait till August unless this thing gets tossed. But right now he's in court. So it's scheduled to be back in court August 3rd. So that's why Marvel hasn't said anything. Marvel's like, we don't know what's going to happen here. That's why they're pushing Kang Dynasty off. As we do that, I wanted to roll into upcoming Marvels. We all know that the Marvels is coming next. And that film's in big trouble, right? I mean, the Marvels looks bad. I enjoyed Captain Marvel for what it was, but I'm just telling you that it looks bad. Here we go. Let's look at the next films after Captain Marvel. Deadpool 3, lock, slam dunk. That's going to be huge. We know that's going to be a big hit. We don't have to worry about that. We have to go Captain America, Brave and Bold. That goes to July of next year. Thunderbolts, Christmas of next year. Blade 2025, Fantastic Four after that, Kang Dynasty 2026, I was right, and then Secret Wars 2027. So these are pretty, I think of all those, those are in good shape. The one that's in big trouble is the Marvels. The Marvels effed, right? You guys know that. The Marvels is going to be in big trouble. I mean, if the Marvel's a 3 out of 10, that's what it looks like. I mean, let's just wait. Who's in here? Is someone say? Is someone in here? Yeah, I am going to kill you, producer NJ. You're late. You're a jerk. Producer Nate's in the building, and producer Nate is not even logging in to jump in. Producer Nate, if you were a real producer, you log in and start hitting comments for me, but you're too slow. I'm going to have to get a new producer who doesn't miss the show by an hour. Everybody, give producer Nate a bunch of shit. Literally come in here and tell him that he's absolutely irresponsible for missing the show tonight. He literally missed the show. I mean, if I missed a super chat, it's not my fault, guys. It's producer Nate's problem. Producer Nate slept through the show. This is totally unacceptable. It's literally like the second day on the job and producer Nate failed. Should we fire producer Nate? That's my question before we end the stream. Should we fire producer Nate? Okay, so here we go, guys. Oh, I don't want to show it to you yet. Hold on. Let me pull it out. Tonight's MMT must-see is The Gift. I love this film. I just remembered it recently. There's so many films you see and you store them away. You like them, you love them, you hate them, whatever it is, you put them away, even whatever it is, you just forget about it. It is the directorial debut of Joel Edgerton. You have Jason Bateman, who, by the way, how great is Jason Bateman? I love Jason Bateman. We can say that Jason Bateman does the same thing in every movie. I'm not going to debate that. But Jason Bateman is amazing in everything. I love the guy. He's just one of my favorite actors. You got Rebecca Hall. You got Joel Edgerton. Here's the short and long of it without giving the film away because it's a film that you don't want to have ruined. You've got Jason Bateman and his wife, Rebecca Hall. They live in L.A., and they come across an old classmate of Bateman's in Joel Edgerton. Turns out that Bateman wasn't so nice to Joel Edgerton when they were back in school. He was not just a dick. He did some really astonishingly shitty things to him. So it's about the slow burn of Edgerton's character making Bateman and Hall's life miserable. I don't want to give anything more than that. I'm just going to tell you that it's a film that should have been an awards film. It's disturbing as hell, and I understand why people didn't want to make it an awards film because it's like a 7 kind of thing, right? It's not quite as dark as 7, which is one of the darkest films ever made, which I love for Fincher's choices, right? But The Gift, at the end of The Gift is, man, it's pretty messed up. Anyone who's seen The Gift, you guys give me a thumbs up right now. You got the end of that movie is crazy. Exactly. It feels authentically real. and it's super uncomfortable. I mean, the themes that it deals with, that last scene, the questions that you're left with, it's dark. It's dark. I completely disagree. It's not mid at all. Not at all. Not at all. No, 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 no. It's Gordo the weird. It's Gordo. That's right. Gordo the weirdo. Oh, it's so good. John, you got to watch it. It's a great film. It's a great film. All right, we're going to go a few more minutes with comments. Comments, anything you want. I'm going to go through and make sure I did not miss any super chats. And then we will end the stream. Who's Gen X? Someone said they're Gen X. I missed it. Where is it? Damn you, producer Nate. Why are you not pushing comments for me? You suck. Where is it? Someone else said they were. Dang, this is what happens when I don't have someone doing it. I'm going to take resumes, guys. I'm going to create a Gmail account, and I'm going to take resumes for the producer job. I'm going to be forthright with you guys. It doesn't pay shit. Now, when it takes off and the show becomes massive, then, which it will, then you'll make some money, but not right now. Okay. And again, thank you to AHA, $20 super chat for the migration to start this thing. I love it. Thank you for that. It really means a lot to us. Pharrell super chat tonight, talking about the Flash and liking the film. I love that. Other super chats. I'm going to run through them real quickly because I love that you guys do that, because you support the channel and you help to keep the thing going. I mean, do Friday Night Tights and Nerdrotic. I said I'd do it if you asked me. But the problem is I'm going to go in there and start shit. That may be not good. Barbie will be too niche. Boom. Thank you again. We got through I'm doing all the super chats. That's what you get at the end. A super chat rewind. Mega YouTube. The awkwardness of the Barbie trailer. Perfect. Love it. Zendaya and Challengers didn't watch the trailer. I will watch it for you Thursday and we'll comment on it. I don't want to watch it right now because they'll hit me with the copyright strike and then the whole stream gets taken down. It's not worth it. I want to monetize. Why would we not want to monetize? Dead Reckoning. That was perfect timing by Diana tonight. Extra gold star for you because it led right into that thing. Chris Gore, go away. Oh, there he is. That's not. I don't know why I even use Gore, because he's not doing a super chat. I'm not using him. I will watch his doc at some point. he's still going after me. Oh no. When did Gore take over the chat? Someone should have, damn it. If I had a producer, we would have muted Gore like an hour ago. All right. I think that's it for the super chats. And we will roll out of here. We'll be back. I can't wait to talk about this film on, I did not watch the Kraven the Hunter trailer. I'm sorry. I don't even want to talk about it because I didn't watch it and I didn't even want to talk. I had so many other things to talk about. Tonight, I'm about ready to honestly fall over because this show takes, please give me a thumbs up if you understand. This show takes so much bandwidth to sit here and to literally not stop talking for an hour and 15 minutes is draining. Now, no one's telling you that what you're hearing here is like, world-changing shit. But I hopefully think that you at least are like, this guy is 1,000,000% authentic. Please give me a like for that. Yeah, send it to him. How many energy drinks? I drink usually 2. I did not sleep well last night. I'm going to bed super early. Discord possibly. All right, guys. Yeah, he has. Nerdrotic's aware of me. Nerdrotic's aware of who I am. I don't know if he watches. He's like, I don't know what to make of this guy. Almost all of you, right? You guys come on here and are like, I don't know what to make of this dude. But the one thing that I think you have to say when you watch the channel is, this is almost a therapy session, and whatever I say, I believe, and I might not state it perfectly, but I am bringing up things that are difficult to discuss, but yet we're not going to tread lightly. We're going to go after it, and we're going to walk up to the line and maybe even cross it, but we're never going to try to go too far where you're like, that's too much. I mean, I did in the past for sure. I got super pissed off about shit. I'm going to try to just keep the rants more controlled, but it's still about not being afraid to step up to the line and to go trim the facial hair. Right? Welcome to the channel. That's what I get. That's what I get. I literally get skip leg day. I have a talent for speaking. Thank you, Tori. I appreciate that, especially as a new person. I hope I do. It doesn't maybe always come out perfectly, but we just shoot. The channel's live. We're not Zach Pope. I can't do it. I'm so sorry, guys. I am sorry, Zach. I mean, it's not really fair, but you're an easy target because it's fake. Hey, everybody. Where's watch that. It's so much fun. You can't tell you how much fun it is. Oh my God. You're like, dude, stop. You're not a real person, bro. You're not a real Tayag. I might do that. I just cut it shorter. Listen, I'm just happy to have hair. I'm happy to have hair. And thank you, Marvin, for being here for the rants, if for nothing else. We're back on Thursday, live with our reaction out of the theater to No Hard Feelings, the RaunchCon with Jennifer Lawrence, hearing very good things about it. Excited to see it. I'm going to take a couple nights and chill. Hopefully nothing happens tomorrow so I can just chill. I said I wasn't going to do a stream, and then boom, we had like a million things to talk about. Get the notifications. I can't stress that enough. Honestly, if you like the content, first of all, leave me a like if you would. Comment, go ahead. I'll try to get back to you as much as possible. And then most importantly, get the notifications so that when we go live some random time, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon in LA, you go, oh, Weber's on. What's he talking about? If I'm on at 3 in the afternoon, whatever I'm talking about, it's a big deal. It's not like, I saw No Hard Feelings. You guys be like, shit, that's not a big deal. What are you talking about? I had a good mullet a while ago. It takes so long to, it took too long to grow. It's not a hairpiece, John. This is not a hairpiece, dude. I don't wear a hair. Why would I do not have a hairpiece? What? Come on. Thank you, the GOAT. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm out. Live from LA. Eric Weber hitting the sack at 9:20 on a Tuesday night. I'm going to bed, y'all. I'm tired as hell, and we're gonna hit the gym tomorrow. Let's go! All of a sudden, I'm what's his ass? The shill. What's his name? Soup. Let's go! I'm going to the gym. See you guys